on, guys? You're watching Everyday Struggle from the Crib. I'm Nadeska here with Academics and Wayno. We've been locked inside for the past couple of weeks. We're excited to be back with you guys. What's good, my friends? How y'all feeling?
Hey, what's good is watching. It's actually me enjoying watching you be tortured by technology. Like, you are kind of right. You're a nature type of person, but watching you try to navigate how we're going to make this, like, virtual everyday struggle thing happen every morning is like literally watching my mom learning how to, like, use, like the latest version of Windows. It's hilarious.
Right. I'm not even offended. It's different because when I'm at the office in the studio, I could like turn on work Nadeska. At home, I don't want to do any of this. So I'm completely out of my element right now. I feel very uncomfortable, but we here anyway. Wayno, how you been? Every time I go on Instagram, I get a notification that you're on Instagram Live. What you doing?
Oh, nah, I'm chilling. I'm cool, other than the fact that I look like a damn photographer right now. Like, I look like an eclectic photographer right now, or like an R&B singer.
Man, Wayno been busy, man. Don't let Wayno fool you. Man, people hit me, they say, yo, is your man Wayno good? Wayno been active on Instagram Live, man. Wayno and everybody live.
You know what I've been doing on live? I've been doing like just giving people like advice. Like, I've been giving a lot of up and coming artists and just entrepreneurs advice, like going live with them and they asking me questions and shit and just telling them, you know, which way they could go to make it.
Wayno for the people, man.
I don't even know how Wayno live, man. Somebody come hit me and say, yo, Wayno is on some like Instagram Live beefing with niggas. I kid you not. I'm like, I thought that was my job. Like, yo, what's going on?
No, I wasn't, man. I ain't beefing with nobody.
And we
leave that for Young Chop.
No. Listen, you know, we're in a self-quarantine state, so I'm gonna act like this happened before we start self-quarantining. But you know, more interesting content coming up. You know, this is a time where content wins, and that's why I'm glad that we're back on air, because even though there's not a lot of current events going on because everybody's at home, people need content to consume because we all bored. We bored as shit.
Yeah, we're going crazy. And it looks like we're going to be here for a while, guys. So our episodes are going to be a little bit shorter than usual just to make sure we can get it up, and then we'll see if we could get longer. But I think at the moment in the U.S., there's over 140,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus. Right here in New York, of course, is the worst. Almost 60,000 cases, I think. So Trump has extended social distancing guidelines until at least April 30th, but that still even seems early. So we're probably going to be broadcasting from home for a little bit. But it's cool to see artists stepping up. So Rihanna and her foundation donated a lot of equipment. Future started the Mask On campaign with Free Wishes Foundation also donating. We've seen people like Timbaland and Swiss Beats on Instagram Live doing beat battles, you know, D Nice doing the live show. So it's cool that artists are really stepping up to hold their fans down.
And those have been really good.
Huh?
I said those have been really good. I think that's it. We would have not got that outside of this moment, which is interesting. It's like a bittersweet thing.
Yeah, it is. But I mean, it's good to see that people are using their platforms to do a little bit of good in the world, you know.
And salute to Boosie, him too.
Have you been tuned into his lives?
Absolutely. Oh my God, Boosie and Tory Lanez. I don't know who's they going for the crown of fuckery right now. Like, it's crazy.
We're probably gonna have some new stars after this virus comes down, but apparently doing good still isn't doing enough. I don't know if you guys have contributed. I've tried to donate, you know, to like local charities here in the city. And Clippers owner Steve Ballmer, of course, he has a lot more money than all of us. He donated $25 million to fight the virus, which is amazing. But apparently some people still felt like it wasn't enough. So Metro Boomin got on Twitter over the weekend to call out fake woke people. He said, how are people actually on here complaining that someone's contribution to the crisis isn't enough based off of what they are worth? He said the same people complaining about $25 million donations won't even donate a single canned good to their local food bank or shelter because they're too busy being fake woke on the internet. It's crazy. Are you guys surprised that people would be complaining about a massive donation like this?
No, people complain about anything. I just don't view it as them being fake woke. I just view it as them being pocket watchers. You know what I mean? To the highest degree. Remember a couple years ago not a couple years ago. How many years ago was that act with the Migos when everybody was critical of them because they donated like $5 million or something?
That's different. It's different, but go ahead. that was going to be part of my point. Right. You read my mind, but go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, but beyond that, I just don't think that nothing charitable is like should be questioned. You know what I mean? If somebody's making any type of contribution, that's their contribution, whether you like it or not. Like, just person like a Steve Ballmer, it's like, yeah, he is a billionaire, but $25 million is not a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a ton of money. And I think like that's good of him to even do that. It's tons of billionaires that's probably not going to give shit. You know, so for him to even do it, I don't think that he deserves scrutiny for it. You know?
So this is how I Twitter is a place that when you get on, it's a place for toxicity. It's a new place of porn. And also it's a place for like, you know, sometimes meaningless discussions. You know, it's a place where people want to make a mountain out of a molehill. You know, like they want to make everything into like this great debate. Yo, you can never satisfy someone. And to be honest, I felt like this was a really charitable donation. Even if he could be worth, it could be worth the most amount of, it could be Jeff Bezos rich. You know, like 25 million, that's a lot of money. You know, people are trying to share their resources. And again, I hate when people judge others in terms of charitable efforts, especially if they're not trying to use a charitable effort or the method of donating to basically create awareness for some other shit they got going on, which you're promoting, right? So that's why I was like, I don't know about Amigos, because when Amigos did it, again, $1,000. I'm not saying it's not a lot of money to a lot of people, but they had a big ass check, mad photographers. Here comes the Amigos donate to the high school.
But they've redeemed themselves since then.
No, clearly. But in that moment, I understand the jokes flying, and of course, you know, people may like criticize you because, hey, yo, you brag about your chain being 200,000, and like what you're proud about giving back is like 1,000. Cool. But in this situation, I really had no problem with what Steve Ballmer did. Like, to be honest, which, like, I guess I was even confused at Metro Boomin, because, like, I think he, I think he tweeted it out and people were, like, getting back at him because we are in a time where, like, people lack so many resources. Like, we hear Trump's about to give out $1,200, or really the United States government is about to give out $1,200. And, you know, for some people may qualify, some people may need it, some people may not. Right now, a lot of people ain't working. This is like money is a big thing for a lot of people. So I think for someone like Metro Boomin, I think he's in a different place. I saw him, he got mad at me for posting on Instagram. He said I was trying to be slick. Yeah. I was like, there's nothing to be slick about it. Like, we're in a time where like people are really hurting. They got to pay their rent. I'm seeing mad people hitting me about how landlords are treating this time where, yo, the tenants cannot pay their rent, you know? So again, we have to be really appreciative of anything anybody gives, or if somebody gives you a break. Right. So right. I didn't really look at it for anything but that.
Yeah, I mean, but like you said, I think it just was more of a Twitter thing, because so many people, like, you know, on Twitter, like, of course, like, everybody always talks about what they would do if they had the money. You know, if I had 25 million, I'd have gave them half of it. Like, you know what I mean? Lies, you know what I'm saying? But again, I don't think that it's a bad contribution, and that's always going to happen no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, do what you can and help each other out. Like you guys said, it's about to be a very, very tough time moving forward for at least the next few weeks. So we're all trying to hang in there. Have you guys, on a lighter note, because we're about to get into some music too, have you guys been watching a lot of TV? One of our fans wanted to know if we could list our top shows and movies to watch on Netflix. He says he's very bored. I started watching Ozark last night, finally new season.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched the new season of Ozark yet, but I did start watching McMillions, the scandal about the McDonald's Monopoly game.
How was it?
Crazy. That's crazy. Tiger King on Netflix, too. That's another crazy one.
I don't know. I heard that's a little overrated. Is it really worth the time?
No, it's definitely worth the time. Like, I caught on to it. Like, you know how when you go on Netflix and it's the newest thing at the top? I caught it, like, I sent it to a lot of my friends, and they was like, I ain't watching this shit. But then I started seeing a lot of people talking about it. It's really good because it's just bugged out. It's crazy to see, like, white people in the middle of Oklahoma doing crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? That, and then what else did I watch? Hunters on Amazon about who's on it? Al Pacino. It's about like a bunch of Jewish people that's like Nazi hunting. That shit is crazy.
Oh my God. I also need to watch Westworld. Do you even watch TV?
Well, I mean, in between, like, you know, just hopping on the computer, like if I'm eating, I like watching someone I'm eating. And on Netflix, like, yeah, but I usually just watch Narcos. I watch Narcos like 1,000,000 times. I watch the same episode. I don't know. There's something about like that type of lifestyle that is very fascinating to me. Regardless, now I had to watch Pandemic because listen, man, I had to figure out if people foresaw what will be going on now. Also, Tiger King, that's been getting a lot of conversation. It's kind of interesting, you know, like it's one of those mini docs. So like it's like 6 episodes. I haven't gotten through all of it, but like just hearing some of the highlights of like that story is like super fascinating. You know what I mean? Like you might not be, well, you're actually into animals, so like that's something I would imagine you would really like.
Yeah, that shit.
But like just seeing how deep it goes and how much money people are playing with, and also to see what people would do for money is, you know, again, it just go back to the inner instinct in us all. And other than that, randomly, and I'm ashamed to say, I've been watching. There's a series called like Good Girls. It's like lit. I like anything with drugs. So like it's like these like middle-aged like white women. Well, not all of them are white, but like they're like soccer moms, and they're like selling. They got into this drug game, and they're selling drugs, and their husbands don't know nor their kids, and it's crazy. But it's cool.
It's cool. All right, I got somewhere I can't remember right now. There's a show on Amazon that I've been meaning to check out. I heard good things about. Maybe I'll find the name for tomorrow. But let's get into some music. So this weekend, PartyNextDoor released his 3rd album. Finally, 15 songs, includes the lead single, which was Loyal featuring Drake, plus Believe It with Rihanna, and Bad Bunny is also on the Loyal remix, which is pretty dope. Production by people by Murder Beats, 40, of course. And this is the follow-up to his 2017 EP, 7 Days. I think some of us probably were concerned that this project actually wasn't going to drop, so I'm glad it did. Did it live up to expectations? We've said, I feel like we probably put Party on the clock before because he was gone for a minute. What did you think of this?
Was you streaming to this one?
I didn't, but I kind of wish I did. You know, I'm a huge Party fan, and Party, who, you know, he has that like that Jamaican, like he's the unpolished version of like a Drake to me, you know, and he's been the inspiration of a lot of stuff that Drake has even given, you know, like
on an R&B tip, you think?
On
an R&B tip?
Yeah. Like I mean, if we go all the way back to from before, if you're reading this is too late, but if right around what's the name of that project that he dropped? Nothing Was the Same. That's when you start seeing a lot of Party influence vibes, you know what I mean? And also, I've been one of the people who, like, despite what everybody says, I've been listening to a lot of songs that Party writes. I go listen to the reference track. I love Work reference track without Rihanna. I know people might kill me for that. I love Work reference track without Rihanna more than like. Yeah, I feel like, you know, he's super raw and unpolished, and because people may not dig his voice like all that well because it's a little bit, you know, raspy. I like it, and you know, I was excited to hear this project. I feel like, you know, he's been going through some personal issues. I felt after P3, you know, it was an interesting period for him. You know, then he dropped the EP, but like he's been kind of really distant, and I'm not too sure if it's distant by choice or distant in finding himself. I read an interview he did recently where he was kind of, you know, speaking on some of the things that went into him kind of taking a break. But hearing the music now, I do think he's kind of in a pocket, and I'm hoping. I like the music personally, but I think he's expecting a certain type of success that he's always yearned. And it goes back to the days of him saying he's tired of a little bit writing hits for other people. He want to have his own moments. Well, you don't got to write a hit song for Drake and Rihanna. You're on the song Rihanna would Believe It. You know what I mean? So now I'm hoping that this is an album that kind of keeps him out there, because I do believe that he almost missed a step. That's why we were putting him on the clock. He almost missed a step in like kind of almost like letting that momentum go, but he kind of held on to it now. He has to stay on the forefront. He can't go missing for another 2 years, all right? I'm glad also he was, I don't know if he's on my Kalani or whatever other situations, he was pretty honest in a lot of the breakdowns of the song. So, you know, I like it. It's growing on me still, you know, like it's not one of those albums where after 2 days of listening, it's late. You like, oh, this is, no, let's turn. No, you feel me?
Yeah, it's not an instant thing for me. It's like more of, I'm really spoiled by his very first project. You know, I love his first project so much. Like that shit is like a classic to me. And like this one, like the hearing you say about like the reference tracks, I feel like all the tracks that he actually keeps for himself couldn't be references for somebody else. Because all the ones that he does make for other people, while they are good references, I just don't think they would ever work for him. But I think like he just has a particular way of picking what he picks. It's good to see him actually doing something, because remember, everybody was not just worried about, you know, him not putting out music, but was worried about his just his health, period. Remember, everybody was joking about how Party had gained a lot of weight. We hadn't seen him in a while, and we was hearing a lot of rumors. But I think, like, this album, like you said, like, it's not something that immediately, like, all right, this is instant. I think it's something that grows. You know what I mean? It grows over time. But
Savage Anthem is the one. Savage Anthem is the one. You know, just if you like, just honest, unfiltered truth. I love it.
Savage Anthem is hard. I fuck with Trauma too. Trauma's hard too. Like, he got a lot. It's a lot of joints on there, but I feel like all his records. Yeah. So like the whole thing with Party, I think, like, you know, his album or his songs is always like joints that kind of creep up on you. They're never like a record that just instantly you hear it and you just go with it. Like, I think his shit just takes a little bit of time to get through. You know, it seems like that's been his career thus far. So I think this album is going to last, but it's going to take some time. People getting used to. I mean, we all in the house, so we got time to really dig in on it.
We have plenty of time. All right, check out that PartyNextDoor album. I think it's safe to say we can take him off the clock now, officially, right, Ak?
Of course. Hey, one more thing. Secretly, with all these things going on Instagram Live, where like we're seeing Sean Garrett and The Dream, don't y'all secretly wish like PartyNextDoor gets on Instagram Live with Bryson Tiller and they go track for track or some shit like that? That would be epic, right?
That'd be hard.
That would be epic.
But
I'm just saying.
But I don't know about Bryson Tiller writing for people though. We just found out that somebody wrote some shit for him yesterday, so I don't know.
Right. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna get into a couple big facts or BS right now. We're gonna start with PnB Rock, who basically said he's sick of people trying to sound like him. So he's saying that he started the trend of singing, rapping, and trapping. In his tweet, he said, he started this, he said, do your Googles. I came home from the upstate penitentiary in 2013. Nobody was doing this. I'm just stating facts. So did PnB Rock start singing, trapping, and rapping? Big facts or BS?
So I don't think that I wouldn't say he didn't start it. I just don't know if he was the one that got famous off of it first. You know, I see everybody always complaining about who did something first, who started it. A lot of people is arguing about the Brooklyn drill movement versus UK grime and Chicago and all of that shit. It's about who's doing it the best. You know, I think like while Fetty Wap what's his name? While PnB Rock did come in with a certain type of style, Fetty Wap made Trap Queen, and that was like one of the fucking biggest records of this last decade. So I'm not knocking PnB Rock. I think like it's cool to want to have done it, but I didn't see him have as much success as like a Fetty Wap. And Fetty Wap was kind of doing the same shit. He might have popped in 2014, or 2015 for real, but he had already been like trying to make a stride with it. You know what I mean? He didn't get signed till a year or two later after Fetty Wap.
Mm.
Hey, you know, I always say once you see an artist on Twitter, like basically clamoring or be like, yo, check me out. Like, I'm the first one who did this or did that. They either feel underappreciated or they feel like other people are enjoying the successes of things they feel they've pioneered. And honestly, I actually believe PnB was right here. Early 2014, that's when I pretty much saw. And by the way, the singing history to me goes like this, right? You have the auto-tune, bellowing, whatever you might call it. That's Wayne. Kanye did it a little bit too. Drake came in a little bit more polished version of it where he was kind of like singing, rapping. But I think singing about the trap, I think that is early 2014. And the first person I do remember doing it is PnB Rock. Okay, I remember when he just came back from prison, that was his subject content. I agree with you on Fetty Wap as maybe doing it at the highest level because some of the records we got. But I do believe that the reason why PnB Rock didn't get to that position is numerous factors. There's numerous factors that happen. Like what people don't know about PnB Rock is that PnB Rock to me has been, even though he's not a guy is like outspoken or like we look at him and be like, oh, he has like this like Russ or like Wale type thing where people just don't like him. Like he did a couple things where people kind of that set his career back, whether it was the Jumping Little B thing, whether it was, you know, peeing in the hotel. Like he did a few things that kind of set people off of him. And also him coming from Philly, him being in the position he's at on Atlantic where now cool, you're almost like seen eye to eye or toe to toe at that point with Boogie. You know, Boogie gets a couple other songs.
Boogie wasn't there yet.
But what I'm saying over the years. So I'm
Yeah.
only talking
I
about
get what you're
like
saying.
it.
But what about that kid Speaker Knockers though? You don't think that he had a little bit like Speaker Knockers was singing about the trap and you know what I mean?
I don't think like PnB Rock. I feel like I'll give him credit for melody. I'll give him credit for the melody influence. But in terms of that singing about trap shit, I gotta go with PnB Rock. Again, I think some of his discomfort in seeing like certain other shit blow up is probably like, yo, he's had an unfortunate run for his career. So, you know, I wish him the best, but I definitely give him his flowers right there.
Gotcha.
All right, so we got one more big facts or BS. This one's a little bit wild. So this one is from Youngboy NBA. This is his take on why he thinks rappers don't like to die. Take a look.
I know why rappers don't like to die.
Why that?
Because when rappers die, it's like the people gonna expose like how like that they real life like they cars not paid for or something.
Yeah.
Or like that they you know like they was kept out.
Yeah.
So they don't want to be exposed.
All right, so some people might say it's just a survival instinct kind of thing, but Youngboy does not agree. What do you guys think about this?
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, yo. I mean, listen, I ain't gonna. Since I've been home, I've been getting more in tune with Youngboy. I ain't gonna lie, I've been getting really in tune with him. But his word in the things is like rappers don't like to die because they don't want to be exposed. Like that's the biggest thing you worried about when you're in death, or is that a thing that's even in somebody's mind? Like I don't want to die because niggas is gonna find out I wasn't who I said I was. How about niggas don't want to die because don't nobody want to die? Right? Like it's just that didn't make sense to me. I slightly understand the point he's trying to make, but I don't think that was the right example. So I'll say BS on that.
I have a little bit more context to why he said that. This was the same day like we linked up. Yeah, I was. And
Act on private jets now, y'all. You know that, right? Act on private jets.
I just had to get one photo. He did like the 2-frame as well. Someone handing him the backpack.
Yo, hold up, man. Y'all hate him up last night.
Act hot in the fucking streets. Private jets and shit.
But you know, me and we did have a conversation, and I do think he's unlike a lot of rappers, but you know, Youngboy's 20. And I guess, you know, I'm adding a little bit more context to what he said, because when you see what he said, if I was to respond to anybody just saying that, I'd be like, wow, you're kind of out of touch. Honestly, I think this came from a conversation where, honestly, I looked at him and I asked him if he was, like, scared to die. And I think he always expected that to happen. Like, and you know, the life he's been living and where he comes from, that he's never been one that was scared to death, but he also kind of expected that it was already supposed to happen type of thing. You get me? So, like, I think for him, he's like, you know, one thing he told me specifically, he's like, yo, I like living in the moment. He's like, I take everything day by day. He's like, I don't plan for, he doesn't look at the future. And, you know, it's a little bit sad that, you know, with all the success he has now, like, he's not really thinking like, yo, I can't wait till I turn 30, this and 30. He's like, yo, it could all end tomorrow, so I'm living for today. So, you know, again, I'm not going to judge him for that statement because I understand the mindset with why he's saying it. You know, for him, he's like, yo, listen, a lot of people, they're scared of death because they're scared of this whole image that they've been portraying that it's up. For him, he's like, yo.
I feel like when we lose a rapper, even if it's not something that someone that you were emotionally invested in, you know, I feel like our hearts go out to their friends and family. Are people then trying to dig into their lives?
I mean, people are definitely trying to dig into their lives, but I just think that, like, in life and in death, because death is a part of life, that should be the least thing you worried about. You know what I mean? Is a motherfucker saying, oh, this nigga was a fraud or he wasn't who he said he was. I mean, like, can't live life trying to prevent death for that reason, you know? And with Youngboy, like, he's super successful and he's a father. Nigga got like 5 kids and he's only 20. So I hope that he starts to, you know, look a little bit forward into his career. But, like, that's just, I get what you're saying, act on him, like, living in the moment and all that, but that's just not the right example. The thing is, because you see that little clip and without your context, it's a lot of young kids that see that and just only go off of that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm just thinking about the message it sends a bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You know, I spoke to him about a lot of stuff, and we'll see that conversation in a while. But spoke to him about being a role model. Spoke to him about being having a bunch of kids, and his relationship with them, why he does what he does. Like, is he living for them? And you know what? One of the most honest things, and one thing I give him a lot of credit for, is that he says how he feels, probably not in the way he should say it, but he's super honest with it. And one of the most honest things he said to me, he said, "Yo, I'm 20." He says, "I didn't get to that point yet." Like, even certain things, I was like, "Yo, with you and your kids, does that make you change how you move in certain type of ways?" And he said, "No." He said, honestly, he didn't get to that point yet. And he's like, "Yo, he's learning." And, but again, we're watching someone who was 17 when he got in the rap game. He got incarcerated through a lot of legal things. He's having a career high point, but you're hoping that he goes through this phase of going into being a man and learning how to deal with life, and also, the responsibilities that he's going to definitely have to deal with. So
right.
I'm not going to judge him too much.
Right. Yeah, it's evolution, and he'll get there at some point, and hopefully he just doesn't dwell on death too much in the meantime. So look, my apologies again that we're ending already. It definitely feels weird to have a short episode, because usually these guys can talk forever, but don't worry, we're going to be back on our normal schedule. We're here all week, and we'll end with this. So Drake finally, shared some photos of his son early this morning on Instagram, and he wrote like a very, very long caption about just trying to stay positive through all of this. So I'll just read my favorite line, and then we can go. He says, "When the mind starts to move into overthinking or fear, shift your attention away from something bright, whatever that is. Tune in to business lessons, watch something on Netflix, see what Ak is doing while they're on Twitch. Just try to stay positive out there. It's a crazy time right now."
Peace to Drake.
I'm just glad that Pusha T and Rob Drake got a chance of showing the sun, okay? Okay, because if Pusha T had dropped the picture, man, damn, this thing would be the Grinch who stole Christmas. But of course, Drake was allowed to show the first picture of his kid, which
boy look exactly like him too.
He does look exactly like him, man. Super cute.
I'll just reserve comments on that,
All right,
reserve comments.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching Everyday Struggle. We're going to keep taking your fan questions. You can send videos or tweets or DMs, whatever you want. Hit us on Twitter at Everyday Struggle with 2 G's, and we'll see you.
Oh, wait. I know. Maybe I should.
Go ahead.
Wait, y'all ain't going to address Drake saying that y'all be hating on him?
You told us you're going to find out what's the problem.
Wait, so we're going to have a whole episode now.
Yo.
When it's me and Nav, we got to talk about it. But hold on.
Okay.
Let me put y'all up to speed. So there was a Toronto page, salute to Toronto rappers. That's the name of the page. Mm-hmm. They posted the clip of us discussing, and Wayno questioned me about, what's my disdain for Navaraj. So, you guys are pretty much playing devil's advocate, but we saw Drake hop in the comment section, and I guess he was just kind of saying, yo, it's cool if Ak don't like Nav, because that's how the other two feels about me.
But when have I ever said that I don't fuck with Drake is the question. Have I ever said that on record?
After all the nice things. Listen, after all the nice things.
You got him blocked.
Listen, after all the nice things that I've said about Drake, post Pusha T Drake beef, if he don't take that as me respecting him, that nigga has a personal problem. Like, that ain't got nothing to do with me. Like, straight up. I've definitely given that man his flowers, straight up.
Yeah. We gotta go. Roger's telling us to wrap it up, but I feel like my stance on this show has always been, this is privately and publicly, I'm not a Drake stan like you are, but he is one of the nicest ever, period. And I tell you, especially after this whole Kanye thing, that video, the phone call leak, bro, Emotionless hits harder than ever. I think that's probably one of my top 5 favorite Drake songs of all time.
We've been on this nigga side for mad shit.
I know. I don't know what academics is telling you, but he's lying, and we gotta go before Roger kills us.
Right.
You done?
Peace.
That's it.
I'm trying to get him into Everyday Struggle. Like, yo, I gotta clear the air.
We're here. FaceTime, whatever the technology is, we're here. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.